Alrighty then, everybody. Welcome to the first ever RFR live stream. This is season 3 of the championship, and this will be the first race of the season in Adelaide, Australia. We're here at the Adelaide Street Circuit today, and qualifying is about to begin. This is going to be very interesting, obviously. Because we don't really know who's going to be that good. It's obviously the first race of the season, as I've already said at least twice, ignoring that. Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see who is going to come out on top after qualifying. I am your host, JG210. I'll be doing commentary for most of the season for you guys here. So I'm looking forward to it. I was a driver last year, so I kind of know what to expect from a lot of the people that are racing here this year, but there's also a lot of new names. A reminder of a couple things. So first of all, this season is themed in the 1998 to 2000 era of Formula One. So obviously, it's a little bit different than the modern cars. They're a little bit less technical, and they're also obviously slower. And scaled to roadblocks, they're probably about the same. So, that being said, it's perhaps you could argue a little easier, but it's also a little harder to gain time when the cars are going at a slower top speed, as you don't have to be exactly as precise. But, that aside, it's still a challenge to be able to participate at the highest level here in RFR. And we have a lot of noticeable names here. And, yeah, so right now we are just waiting for qualifying to start, and once it does, we'll be bringing you live action. Alrighty then, we are back here at Adelaide for the Australian Grand Prix qualifying, and as you can see, the cars are out on track. You have 15 minutes. Let's review the qualifying format for RFR as we get a quick flyby of all the cars that will be competing today. So, qualifying is 15 minutes in length, and the drivers will have 5 time laps that they'll be able to do within the 15-minute period. And the fastest lap that they set out of those 5 will count towards their qualifying. There will be no rounds or anything like that here, as obviously that's not what they did back in 1998. But in this retro format, we will be having a slightly different qualifying, so it'll be very important to get things right, and those guys did not get things right. They did not get things right at all. So we will sit here for a minute and let the drivers trickle out and figure out what they are doing for their laps. Alright, so I believe we have our first cars here setting laps, and holy crap, all three of them just track extended. Those are not their first laps, those are their out laps, I assume. Oh, here we go. So those are the first laps. Loisedo is the first driver, I should say, to set a lap time. It's a 1:21.798. Obviously, Loisedo is a driver for Dragonborn Racing, of which is an Indonesian-founded team. He's been a reserve for the past 2 seasons in RFR, so he obviously is looking to make the step up this season for good. He had a couple good runs last year, notably Valencia won before the shutdown. And oh, as I was saying that, Abdi tops the charts for Velocita with a 1:21.007, or 007 I should say. Maybe there's a little bit of James Bond stuff going on there, especially with that one-off camo-striped livery ran by Velocita. Notably, that was supposed to be a testing-only livery, but for at least the first race of the season, they will be keeping that livery. It does look quite nice. If I could get a shot of it somewhere, maybe I will. Is this one? Sure is. That is the Velocita car. I believe that is third-wheel driving. As the cars cross the start-finish, no one sets a faster time quite yet. But it does look like everyone's improving. TTB actually did, in fact, have a good lap there as well, jumping Loisedo. Prime Drifter, a highly touted rookie here for the 3rd season. He's driving for BMW this season, as that's the former Racing Point team from last season. Obviously, they've changed title sponsorship and manufacturer, but it is the same core team. So Prime Drifter's, going to be someone to look out for this season, I think, and he might be able to pack a punch. I've seen him race in some other series. It'll be interesting to see what he can do with the competition here, like Black Abdi. Looking here, third wheel is not able quite yet to set a fast lap, although he's green right now. I will check and see if I could spectate him. Here he is. Oh, he goes wide. That's not ideal at all. But he will go to the top of the charts. 1:20.996 for the third wheel. Currently, it's a Velocita 1-2. And TTB is in third place. That's a good showing for the German. Obviously, here we go, as we're going through the buildings hanging off the side of the map. Ignore that, please. That's quite funny, isn't it? Someone forgot to anchor those. I don't know if TTB hit the wall there or not. Close call. But here comes a couple more people across the line. I don't know if that was Dirty NASCAR or not. Lazitz just crossed the line, unable to improve. I believe that was Opaki as well, not able to improve. Actually, that might not have been. I am not paying attention to who is driving by. However, we are already basically halfway through, and it looks like quite a couple of guys here have used up some of their laps. The third wheel, though, is absolutely flying right now. 1:20.0. That is a very fast lap. I am personally expecting qualifying to dip into the 1:19s. I am unsure whether or not that will happen, but I do think it is entirely possible that it could. As a couple guys going into the pits, making a pit stop, changing their tires for another lap, presumably. There's a Dragonborn going by there. No, that wasn't a Dragonborn. That was a Williams. The Williams and Dragonborn look so alike that it's so hard to determine. But, for example, the Velocita looks like no other car. we're going to jump on board with TTB again, as he is seemingly on a flyer. Let's see, is he going to improve in the second sector? No, he won't. Loisedo is also on an improvement in the first sector. Let's see if he's going to be able to get through that section cleanly. It does look like that was quite clean. I don't know if he was able to get the best line that he could have there. He might have wanted to hug the inside curb a little more. However, he is not faster in the middle sector than he was on his other lap before. Let's see if he can do anything in the third sector here. Underneath the bridge into the permanent layout section. Right here, you got to break it about where the pit entry starts to make the corner as good as possible. Oh, that was a perfect run. Little track extend. Obviously, you don't really gain much time from that, and he did not improve on that lap. It doesn't look like really anyone's on an improvement, but Nathan is just chilling in third place here. That's a big-time surprise. I was not expecting Nathan to be competitive right off the bat. Right here, we got Prime Drifter sitting in 8th place, trying to get another lap going here. Again, highly touted, expecting a lot, but honestly, he isn't the highest rookie at the moment. Nathan would take that, and even then, Opaki is ahead of Nathan, or behind him, but ahead of Prime Drifter. So, Prime not exactly living up to the hype, but obviously he's still a rookie, so we're going to have to see what happens. He does, in fact, improve on the middle sector, and ooh, that's a strat I have not seen yet, at least not me. He was over that curb, so he almost bottomed out on it. Oh, no, that's unfortunate. He took that corner a little bit too fast and just bonked that outside wall. Yeah, that's going to happen a lot in the race, too, which is a shame, all things considered. Here's Loisedo. He did not make that error. And now he's going to come into the final corner of the hairpin. Foster's hairpin, to be specific. Oh, he's going to get an awesome exit there. Will he be able to improve? He will. 121.113. But it's only good enough for 4th still. 5 minutes remain in the session. And as you can see, more and more guys are about to hit the lap limit. I believe that Loisedo is done. I could be wrong about that, though. Let's take a look at maybe someone else. Prime Drifter's on another lap or not. He is in the pits. I guess he's going for a pit stop. Either that or he is done. Did Builder just improve? I don't know. But Builder is, in fact, on a lap right now. PTT Zent does not have a livery at this moment, so they obviously have a blank car. Interesting strategy, trying to keep the car as cool as possible, clearly. Unlike the Mercedes in real life, which is all black, this car is all white. Quite literally. Oh, and Friction just jumped up to 6th there, so good for him. It looks like Lanner has just gotten a warning for exceeding the lap limit, so he's been instructed to pit. What are you doing as well from the stewards? They have no clue. So here we go. Let's see, is Builder going to be able to improve on the 122.5 that he has already set? Coming out of the final corner, it wasn't quite as optimal as I think it could have been. But he will not improve. So that is a shame for Builder, and I think he is done as well. So qualifying's almost over here. And we're getting a pretty good idea for the size of the grid at the moment. So it does look like 18 people out of 20 have attempted to set a lap or at least gone out on track. That is quite remarkable. That might be a series high. I don't know. F1 fan, though, looks as if he is on a flyer. Let's see. Yes, he is. This is going to be a very good lap if he does not mess up the third sector. Let's see. This corner is one of the hardest ones. Oh, he just got away with that one there. Now he's going to go through this left-right kink flick kind of section around the hairpin in the final corner. Let's see what kind of time he's going to be able to set. He's going to come up, get a good run across the line. F1 Fan goes up to 11th place, 122.7. But with 2.5 minutes or so remaining, third wheel still remains on top for Velocita 1-2 with the third wheel and Abdi. And those two are 4/10 clear of the next guy, which is Nathan in third. So some early signs of Velocita domination, I suppose. That would appear to be what's going on here. Let's see now. Michalox is going to come across the line. It doesn't look like it's going to be too fast of a lap time. Keep in mind we still have the 105% rule, or 107, I don't recall. Let me check real quick. The 105% time is a 126.1, so currently Kundai and Hardman and Lazitz would not be eligible to race. However, the stewards may deem otherwise in the case that they've been submitted evidence that the driver has set a time within. Once more, he's going to come down the long back straight into the hairpin here. This corner is so important to a good lap. As you can see, though, he's not using the same amount of track as other guys are. So maybe that's part of why he's not quite that fast. There's now 30 seconds remaining, and it looks like Michalox might be done. I cannot tell if there's anyone else that's even able to go. Nathan and Opoki seem like the only other guys that are currently eligible. Opoki stopped on the track, whereas Nathan is outside of his car. So with 15 seconds remaining, it looks like qualifying might be over. I don't believe there are any other cars currently setting laps on the track. Although that might be Hardman setting a lap. I have no clue whether or not it is. It is not. So I believe that is, in fact, every car done with qualifying. And that would put it into a Velocita 1-2. That's quite awesome. Times didn't go as low down as I thought they might. But it is a 1-2 nonetheless. Here's the Velocita garage. The third wheel, your pole sitter for Velocita Koenigsegg Racing. Obviously, Koenigsegg first race as engine supplier. And what do you know? They're on pole position. We will take a quick break, and we will be back for pre-race. See you in a moment. Alrighty then, everybody, welcome back. Gridding procedures are underway here at Adelaide for the race. In a moment, we're going to go through the starting lineup, person by person, as we're just going to give everyone a brief moment to get caught up. And yeah, I mean, qualifying was very interesting. I guess I'll talk about a couple things really quick. First of all, my pick to win it at the start of the weekend, or not. Okay, well, I guess we have to shut down again really quick, so I'll be right back. Well, as I was saying, while we let Blaine figure out what's happening, my pick to win it at the start of the weekend was Maximus, who finished, I don't remember where he finished. I think he finished third last season overall. But he is not here this weekend. He is away. So he has Friction subbing for him. Obviously, Friction isn't the quickest man in the world, but he is quite capable. Actually, Maximus finished second last season, correct me. So basically, he was my pick. I was expecting him to perform well. However, that did not pan out, as obviously he isn't here. Alright, so attempt number 2 is underway. I will bring live coverage in a moment. And we will take a look at the 18 drivers for 10 teams that will be contesting the race today. Okay, now that we are back, yeah, we're going to be able to have a look at the grid for today. Starting in first for today's race is third wheel driver for Velocita Motorsport. As you can see him getting out of his car right here. Starting in second will be Abdi, who's obviously being very loud right now. Very much appreciated. Third place will be Nathan, the debutant for, I believe Nathan's driving for Nissan, as you can see, or Nissan, however you would like to say it. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Nathan will be capable of. Loisedo is starting in fourth place for Dragonborn Racing. Obviously, we already know that he is able to probably compete. Just whether or not he will, that will be the real question. Fifth place, TTB 94 for Sierra Speed Honda. No, not for Sierra Speed, for Pacific. I get those two confused every time. That's disappointing. Already, we can get a counter going on how many times I confuse those two. So, TTB for Pacific, top 5 starting position, and Friction will start in 6th, who is the first of the Williams cars. Opaki will start 7th place today, also Williams. 8th place is Lanner, but it looks like Lanner isn't starting in 8th. Oh, that's right, he set an extra lap. I believe he had a grid penalty. So, that would promote Prime Drifter up to 8th place. He will start 8th. Builder will start in 9th place for PTT Zen, obviously with the white car. Interesting to see what he can do. F1 Fan will start in 10th for today, racing with Audi Horch. Here is Lanner in 11th for Nissan. Again, grid penalty, he lost 3 spots. 12th place is Warrior Gabriel, also for Audi. JL will start 13th. He has big shoes to fill. He will be, for now, replacing Dak Hare. Obviously, G-Man was supposed to be here, but he is not able to come, unfortunately. So JL will start 13th. Dirty NASCAR will start 14th. This is Sierra Speed Honda. I'll get used to it eventually. This, I don't know who it is. Oh, this is Kundai, that's right. I had another moment. Hyundai will start in 15th place here today, driving for PTT as well. 16th, Mikkalox, driving for Hardman's team, Samosa Racing. Only car on the grid for Samosa today, I believe. And for now, rounding out the field is Lazitz, starting 17th place for BMW. That's a full view of the grid. It does look like Hardman will be a DNS for today, so we will have 17 cars instead of 18. However, every team I do still think is represented here. And yeah, so that's your grid for the first RFR race of the season. And now we are just awaiting lights out here in Adelaide. It's going to be very interesting once it starts. Very excited. So yeah, as I was mentioning, my pick before qualifying, before Maximus announced he wasn't coming, was going to be Maximus. As I said, he was my pick. So now that qualifying's over, my second pick anyway was going to be third wheel. He's starting on pole. I think he'll most likely have the best shot. Taking a look at the strategy for today's race, as Blaine, that was on time. Laps 12 through 27 is the pit window, at least expected. It should be a one-stop, however, some drivers may end up with a two-stop if they have issues and a lot of spins. So yeah, we're going to be awaiting lights out here. And here we go. First RFR race of the season. 5 lights. Or let's not go. So the first start was waved off. I assume it was a false start. And someone went. Nice. Already off to a fantastic start. I'm going to sit up here. So the CC limit for today will be 17. I will be giving frequent updates on who is near that limit. Obviously, every time you hit the limit, you will be getting a drive-through or a 20-second penalty, whichever is applicable. And we're getting ready to see who's going to be able to be the fastest today in Australia. Great harmony cars, but here we go. 5 red lights. Lights out and away we go. Third wheel really did not get a good start there, but let's sit back and watch what happens. Oh! That was nearly catastrophic for the Velocita car there. I believe that was third wheel, because it looks like that's Abdi right there going into the hairpin. We'll jump back on with the commentary here. Everyone seems to be clear. There you go. Loisetto is the leader of the first lap for RFR Season 3. Yeah. Oh man, third wheel had a really awful start there. That was really not good for him. Warrior Gabriel's off the back as well. Not really sure what happened to him. But that was a very good battle for the lead up until that right-hand turn with the big curb on the inside. He hooked that curb just a little bit and spun out. He saved it, though, so credits to him here. Here we go. This is a massive battle for the lead. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this for quite a while in RFR. It does look like we have a lot of cars that are going to be able to compete here. Going into this turn again. Oh, it's so dangerous. You have to be exact on the measurements for where you're turning. If you turn in a little bit too much, you hook that curb, and if you don't turn in enough, you smack the outside wall. You got to be very careful. Right now, Loisetto is leading comfortably over Opaki, who's up to second, and it looks like Abdi's had a shocker as well. That's very unfortunate for both of the Velocito boys. Front row start, but they couldn't get much out of it. There you go. They're going to come into Foster's hairpin again. No problems so far for any of the leaders. Oh, that's a PTT that just went really deep into that corner. I think that was Builder there. He lost quite a couple of places. Yeah, but third wheel's got his work cut out for him now. He's really made it difficult. Looks like Dirty NASCAR has had an issue. It's funny enough, Friction and JL are back here. And then Opaki and Loisetto are up in the front. Oh! Loisetto went deep, and that's going to hand the lead to Opaki. Nathan's just chilling here in a second. He's going to take that position all day, every day. Here they come. All the cars, quick flyby here. Oh, there's someone running. I don't know who that would be. Very funny indeed. There's another car there. That was the BMW. I think that might have been G-Man 789, not Omnius G-Man. Right there, that had that issue. I did not notice that G-Man took the start. But yeah, so G-Man is in there for BMW instead of Lazitz. And the cars go again. But yeah, it's pretty close still, to be honest. It really is. But as you go further back, you could tell which drivers have had problems throughout the race so far. We're going to join some onboards here. Let's jump on the Prime Drifter. Oh, that's very unfortunate. I jumped on, and Prime Drifter has just had a spin. He's going to fall all the way back. Back to, it looks like that's back to 12th or 13th. Not good for Prime Drifter. Again, there's a big group of fast guys back here that have really not had good starts. Third wheel, notably. First lap error put him far back. Oof. And there you can see Hardman. So Hardman did also take the start. Damn, this is confusing who took the start and who didn't. I believe Hardman might have started from the pits, though. Hardman's racing with F1 fan, though. Third wheel's just going to join in on this battle here. Going into the hairpin. Yeah, third wheel's going to outbreak both of them there. That was very aggressive. Hardman got him back on exit, though. Is third wheel going to be able to pull through in the corner? Yes, he will. Oh, and that's Builder as well, I think. Builder had another problem. Oh, and it looks like Opaki also has had an issue. So Nathan, in all of this, is up to the lead, the rookie. That's quite remarkable from Nathan. First ever RFR Formula Racing start. The top three can cover him with a blanket here. Through the 90-degree corners of the second sector. No, first sector. The sector line is this banner right here. Obviously with no markings on it. But yeah, the racing so far has been really good. I'm very much a fan of this stuff. And we're going to get to see the cars come down the back straight. Nathan in the lead. Yep, these guys back here are still squabbling. It's very clear that outside of the lead few, it's very aggressive. and you really need to make your pick. I don't think I mentioned this yet, but you have to keep in mind here that only the top 6 scorers are going to get points. So here, only the top 6 up to TTB at the moment are going to score points in this race. So it's just going to make every single thing even more important, as here you go. Drivers are going to come by. That was quite spectacular, I must say. Oh, we're underneath the map. That's pretty solid. But yeah, so now Nathan's had a problem, and Abdi's up to the lead. This is just a revolving door of drivers taking the lead. But it really does go to show that it's anyone's game. However, it does look like you got a breakaway of the top 3 here. So Abdi, Loisetto, and Nathan. And you have to go back to almost 4 seconds behind to find Lanner. Here they go. They're going to all come into the hairpin here. Abdi followed by Loisetto, followed by Nathan. There they go. Whoa, I overshot that view. This is very interesting. You're going to have to see now, as I said, the mentioned pit window is lap 8 to lap 27. It opens in 2 laps time. So if someone really wants to try and get a big time undercut, then they will be able to. But however, it does appear through practice the tire wear is not the biggest of concerns there. Oh, that's a massive error from Abdi. He's going to lose a lot of time there. He just hooked that curb. He did not get that curb right at all. And Nathan's going to get it back again, it seems. Nathan will lead another lap. Or not. Nathan went wide. Spectacular battles will jump on board with Nathan here. As all 3 of them enter the right-hander, and now you have the very straight second sector, if you've noticed. So Nissan really looking for a good result here, and I think they're going to get it. Loisetto hit the wall again. Man, he loves those walls. But he's going to lose even more time now. And it looks like Abdi might have finally gotten himself into the lead for good. You could see the difference in line. Abdi kind of missed the point there to go over the curb. And Nathan gained a little bit, maybe a 10th or so on him. But Loisetto really has fallen back. But tracking third wheel here. Holy crap, he is on a mission. Third wheel's up to 6th place. So that's a really, really good run for third wheel here. My pick to win, as I mentioned. He's now 6 seconds down, but all things considered, considering the terrible start that he had, I think that's quite respectable. He's worked through basically 2/3 of the field to get back to here. But that's also had to do with other driver errors and such. And he's catching up to this battle really really quick with Lanner in 5th. That's what I was going to say. But Lanner's really now getting into that range for a podium. He's just hung in there. And I think now he's going to be able to fight for it. Especially if these 2 guys are going too hard. If they go just a little bit too hard, Lanner should be able to close the gap. If they drive themselves too hard and too far over the edge, they're going to hit a curb the wrong way and probably lose some time. For me, that's happened a lot last season. Because I was fighting a lot for the top half of the points. You know, you really got to be precise. And when you're focusing really hard to close in on other people, you can make mistakes. As we've seen happen with a lot of people so far. And that was a mistake. I really should stop talking. That's like the 4th time that's happened. But third wheel is up into 5th now. Lanner just hit the wall there. And third wheel's up to 5th place, but he just lost another second there. So, yeah, Abdi is gapping everyone else at this point. Nathan's really the only person that's able to go for it. Oh, Abdi just kissed the wall, got screwed up, and he just lost a whole bunch of time. Pits are open, so drivers are going to start, most likely, coming into the pits here. Fastest lap right now is Opaki. 119.8, that's a really quick time. Hardman with a 120.1. But as you can see, the Velocita boys are not able to match their qualifying pace yet, and that's because of the problems they've had at the start. Here you're going to see Abdi coming into the left-hand corner here. We'll get a flyby of the entire pack. This is a good battle right there. I don't know what position that's for. I think that's for 13th, maybe. But yeah, things have calmed down a little bit. Looking through the pack, some guys have really not had good results. As you can see, F1 fan, Kundai's really far back. Kundai's outside of the 30s, so that's really not a good result for him. We'll jump back on board with third wheel here. And third wheel is closing that gap slowly but surely. It looks like Loiseto's made another mistake. So it's really proving a point here of who's going to be able to go in the long run. Loiseto's looking like he's not that good of an option here for the long run. He's got the one-lap pace, but he can't seem to stay out of the wall, which is really a shame because he can't capitalize off of it. Oh, maybe third wheel made a mistake, too. Yeah, I really need to stop talking. Or no, that wasn't Loiseto anyway. That's the real problem. Oops. That's, Opaki. So they've changed places. I assume Opaki's also made a mistake in that case. So yeah, Loiseto's been playing around with that podium spot. And this is all playing into the hands of third wheel here. As more and more people make mistakes, he's just going to have to get on a run. It looks like the battle for the lead's opening up once again. Abdi versus Nathan. This has been consistent so far through this race. It's the only thing that's really been consistent is the battle for the lead. And Nathan's going to get ahead of Abdi here. That's quite solid for him. We're going to go over and watch them as they come into the De Quittville hairpin. Here comes everyone. Abdi's going to be able to hold that lead for the time being. And there's the battle for fourth between Opaki and third wheel. Battle for seventh as well. But your leaders are going to come through for lap number 12. Still nobody pitting. So I have a feeling that the pit strategy is going to be mostly the same for everyone. I was talking to Abdi before the race, and he told me that the pit strategy is most likely going to be around lap 16 or 18. And 18 does seem like a pretty good choice there, because obviously you have less of the race to go after that. So you'll be able to get a little bit more out of the tires on the second stint. But honestly, Abdi's tires don't look too bad, all things considered. He's still pulling away from basically everyone else that isn't him or Nathan. Here we go. This right-hand kink claims another victim. Brewery Corner has claimed Nathan. He's just bonked the outside wall. And the first drive-through penalty of the day has been given. It will go to G-Man 789. And oof, 28 cuts. But let's take a look, though. Keep in mind, the limit's 25. I guess that's changed. Who is getting close to the cuts? That's the real thing to pay attention to here. F1 Fan and Hardman are both very close to the cut limit. But it looks like everyone else is pretty okay. Kundai is 18. I would also expect corner cuts to chill out throughout the race. But yeah, Nathan lost what, 3 seconds there? That's very costly for Nathan's chances here. Abdi said it personal best as well. Yeah, it's the rundown there. Alright, we are going to go on a quick break, and when we come back, pit stops will most likely begin, and we will be covering all of them live here on RFR. Alright everyone, we are back on RFR, and as you can see, the safety car has been deployed. I'm not sure what happened since I just left, which is pretty funny. Most likely disconnect. I would take a guess. I think it might be G-Man. To be honest, I'm going to take a look and see if I can identify what the issue is. But I do not see G-Man, so I believe it might be a G-Man disconnect that has brought out the safety car today. So first safety car of the season, and I have a feeling everyone's going to come into the pits here. I don't really think you have a reason not to. It's a free pit stop, and yes, here is the issue. G-Man's car is stopped on the side of the road. First DNF of the season. It looks like a mechanical failure, possibly, that has led to a disconnection. So, we are going to follow everyone as they come into the pits, presumably. And it does look like pit stops may be underway. And they are indeed. Let's see, how are pit stops going to go? It looks like we do have a couple of cars that decided to stay out. Very bold. Now, something that was always a problem in my time was the pit stops. I never could get the pit stops nailed. But importantly, it does appear that Abdi has led the race out of the pits. However, Velocita has been forced to double stack, so third wheel will lose some time. But who are the drivers that have elected to stay out under this safety car? That's very bold to choose to do that. Let's see. I'm not sure, but I believe that is TTB, and it is in fact TTB, and maybe Leonard did not come out, but that was just a timing bug. I think it was. So TTB is, interestingly, the only car that elected to stay out during the safety car. It's possible that he's going to come in next lap, or this lap at least, just for the lol, so they didn't have to double stack. I don't really see the benefit in that, but it's entirely possible that's his strategy here. I'll use this time to take a look at who's close to the corner cut limit. F1 fans at 24. So I think he's probably bound for one. Hardman's on 25, so he will get one. It's 2 more DTPs to add to the list. However, if we're looking at the people who are competing at the moment, and interestingly, yeah, TTB is staying out. So very interesting strategy. And Lanner did in fact come in right there. I'm not quite sure what happened with Lanner. I think he kept on going. So yeah, he's going to have to come to the back. I don't think the safety car caught him. So Stewart's decision is that he has to return to the back of the field, as he should do. But TTB has decided to stay out. I'm not so sure what he's hoping for here. Maybe another safety car. But honestly, it doesn't really matter too much right now with the safety cars. The track is so hard that it's very easy to gain back the time lost. So it looks like he's just going to go for the two-lap fresher tires and say, well, listen, this is what I have. And maybe be a little bit more competitive. So yeah, as I mentioned, I was expecting pits to happen around 16 to 18, and they obviously did. G-Man's car is still stuck there, so I'm unsure if the marshals are having a hard time removing it, which is possible. I got cut off from my corner cuts speech, so I'll say it again. It does look like Abdi's not in any trouble as far as corner cuts go. Nathan. Oh, the safety car flipped over. I don't know how that happened. That's unfortunate. Nathan is also not really in corner cut trouble, if I can find him. 17. Yeah, it might end up, if he's not careful, he might end up with a drive-through penalty. Hardman ended up in 3rd place. That's very good for Hardman. But as I said, he's pretty much bound to get one. Builder is in 6th. So yeah, pit stops are very costly. They changed up the grid a lot. I'm having a very hard time with Roblox today, clearly. Builder is 15 corner cuts. So yeah, I mean, really, Abdi and Loy look like the guys that are best set up. Friction and the third wheel also have 8. So good on them. I believe that the safety car is coming in this lap, though. So will we be seeing a restart? I am uncertain. We'll quit it with the spectating, though. Yep, green flag is out once more. We're going to see the cars come down the front straight into turn 1 for the 17th time today. TTB is your leader, so a very odd and different strategy than what we normally see. It looks like Hardman's been the one to capitalize the most. As you saw right there, Hardman just went wide again in Brewery Corner. That just seems to be the trouble spot today, doesn't it? Quetville hairpin. TTB, older tires, is just not going to be able to hold on to everyone else here. Oh, the Audi there had a moment as well. I believe that's Warrior. He had an absolute shocker through that no-name corner. So TTB is going to actually end up leading another lap. Credits to him. Third wheel's up to 2nd somehow. This man has gotten so lucky today. And Builder's chilling in 3rd. Oh, look at that. That's just the difference in tire. That's just the difference in tire where third wheel basically took that corner flat compared to TTB. So third wheel, it looks like will assume the lead or not because he went a little wide there. It's going to be between Builder and third wheel and TTB, who's now on the back foot, however, being even. TTB's going to hold it into the second sector, though, so credits to him. And they go Jones straight. Everyone's going a little wide here, trying to compensate for the corner. This corner's been a trouble spot, and it does not catch anyone out. Actually, it caught TTB out quite a bit. He nudged that wall pretty hard. As you saw, Hardman drive-through penalty for corner cuts. Second victim of the day for that. But third wheel, holy crap, he just pulled through that corner. He got it completely right, and he is into the lead. And Builder just made another mistake. He rode the inside of that curb. That will also be a corner cut. Very costly. So he's on the back foot. But you have a big pack of, what, 5 cars here now fighting for second. That's a big play there. And as you saw, TTB has come into the pits. He is doing his... No. What? I don't know. Oh, Hardman came into the pits. He's doing his drive-through. I had another moment. So Hardman has done his drive-through, and he's out way in the back. I'm not sure when TTB is planning on pitting. I don't see how this was worth it anymore. I really don't. But I guess it was worth a shot. And there you could see the two Zents, PTZ Zent Toyotas, right there. Third wheel still holds a comfortable lead, though, out of Opaki and Warrior. I think Abdi is in 4th place. It does look like that is the case. And he's currently attacking Warrior for that podium spot. This has been a day filled with action on so many levels. Quite spectacular, if we're being honest. Warrior just got that line, though. He got the line completely right. Rode that curb to the max, and he's going to hold third for at least this section. It's all going to come down to Foster's corner as to whether or not Abdi will be able to get ahead of him. Oh, that's a much better line. That is a far better line, and Abdi will get that pass done. So as you can see, there are a couple of places where you really got to capitalize. Oh, Opaki had another moment there. That was very unfortunate. I think he got a corner cut there. Yeah, but third wheel's in the lead by 1.5 seconds. So after that first lap mistake, he has pretty much had a flawless day, if we're being honest with ourselves. And looking at the corner cuts, few more guys that are within range of a drive-through. Third wheel had a shocking corner there. But holy crap, they are flying through that corner. I would love to see a flyby from that apex. And we're going to see them come into the permanent section now. Here they come. Third wheel leading. It's a big battle for second. And that's a battle for 6th. Yeah, TTB is still falling. This is his only chance, really. Oof. Warrior just had another cut there. Very costly indeed for him. And yet, that's a dirty NASCAR drive-through penalty. He has passed 25 corner cuts. That's another one biting the dust there. But here they go again. Onto Jones Straight, and here they come into Brewery Corner. This is fantastic. A really good field spread. Oh, that was a lot of smoke. Yeah, there's been a lot of rubber being shredded today, very clearly, from the amount of smoke that we've seen. People riding the curbs to the max, as they have to do. Kundai drive-through penalty as well. That's, what, the 4th drive-through, I think, of the day. But third wheel is just holding this gap at 1.5, 1.3, around there. And he's really running away with it. But Warriors managed to get into third, so credits to him. But Abdi's fallen off. This first corner, holy cow, it's caught off a lot of people. Just got them thinking about what speed they need to take the apex into the first corner. All of a sudden, oh, you're over the curb and in the second as a part of that chicane. Dirty NASCAR coming out of the pits for his drive-through. He's really behind, and I feel like if he needs any more chance of getting points, it's going to require a real miracle. Here you can see Nathan. He was fighting for the lead before, but now he's only fighting for fifth. However, it does look like he's gotten ahead a little bit of TTB. Going to DeQuittville. Once again, look at the line that he takes. He just takes that curb, goes into the corner, and gets a big run on exit. That's the maximum way to get time. But, oh, battle for the lead once more between third wheel and Opaki. This is very big, and the third wheel's only in the lead by 0.06 of a second. That's a very small gap. Look at them just blitz those curbs completely. He just drove over them in a straight line, basically. And this is one of the toughest corners on the track, though, with the curbs. You gotta really maximize your run. These 90-degree corners are a real pain in the ass. So here you go, right-hand 90, and now you're gonna have this sweeping left-hander followed by a sweeping right-hander. This is my favorite part of the track, that section. Now you have another 90 right, and then you're going up the hill into Brewery, over the curb, and he's going to open up another gap. That's just showing how much he's able to push the car. We're on lap 23 of 33. 16 runners still, only one DNF, and that'd be G-Man, who brought out a safety car in lap 14 or so. But yeah, third wheel's just running away with this one now. The gap's back up to over a second. But as we've seen, things can change at the blink of an eye, so he's really just got to make it mistake-free. Keep on going. We're going to see them just ride over these curbs here. That's very aggressive from Abdi there, but look at this huge gap from the top four onwards. Massive gap. They're really pulling away. Opaki, though, still has the fastest lap over Abdi in third wheel, so he's really showing to me that he's the fastest rookie. I originally thought Prime Drifter was going to be after testing, but Prime Drifter really hasn't shown up too much today. Look at this giga battle for second, though. Abdi just passed two cars in the span of two corners. Respectable effort from him, and he's up into second. Velocita 1-2 dreams resume, I suppose. As they come down the long back straight into the permanent section once more. Third wheel has a giga lead. Just look at that battle, man. Massive battle between three cars for the second podium and third podium spot. Yeah, Abdi's just going to get a measure of him on the exit there. And so your running order is currently third wheel in the lead, with Abdi following him 2 seconds back. Warrior in third. Opaki back and forth. Builder is in the top 5. Good showing. Loisetto has recovered back to 6th after having a great start and an awful middle of the race. Nathan's in 7th. He's fallen off quite a bit. Prime Drifter is in 8th. TTB has fallen back to 9th. He still has to make a pit stop, I believe. Hardman's in 10th. JL in 11th. Friction is back in 12th, so he's really fallen off as well. Dirty NASCAR is going to cross in 13th here. F1 Fan in 14th. Kundai in 15th. Lenners look like he's had a problem. I believe he might be serving a drive-through. Could be wrong. Or he did serve a drive-through, rather. And that's all your runners. Lap 25 of 33. We'll take another quick break and we'll be back non-stop to the finish afterwards. This is RFR Network. Alright everyone, we are back live to the end of the race here in Adelaide, Australia for the Australian Grand Prix, the first race of the Season 3 RFR schedule. Third Wheel still has a lead over Warrior, who's won the battle for second. Abdi's in third, and Opoki has fallen from second back to fourth. Yeah, we're really seeing things space out quite a bit now, as Third Wheel's 2 seconds ahead of Warrior. I mean, honestly, he could really just put it into cruise control, but Warrior's going to have to keep on fighting because he has a hungry Abdi right behind him. This right, left, right section really is a pain in the butt. It's 3 corners you have to get exactly right, and you have to deal with the elevation alongside it. But these guys have done a spectacular job of dealing with it so far. You see these guys running side by side, no longer anyway. This corner's really been the do-or-die corner for the drivers today. They have to get that corner right if they want to have a good chance at winning. And I think at least the top guys have really gotten it right, as the gap from 4th to 7th, no, the gap from 4th to 5th is 9 seconds. I don't know why I said 7th. Another dirt moment. However, Third Wheel has opened up even more. Warrior's made another mistake, and Abdi is past him now. Abdi is still looking fantastic at the moment, but he's just not been able to get past Warrior. He finally has, but now he's got to run away. TTB has not pit yet, I do not think. Unless he has, I have no clue. It's possible he's going to the end on 0 stops. I'm not sure if that's legal, if the stewards will allow it. We will have to see. Yeah, this part of the race is really difficult for the drivers. They've now been driving for close to an hour. It's really getting up there. And so it's really going to start becoming a race of attrition. Who's able to hang on for the longest amount of time? But one thing that hasn't changed is Third Wheel's still in the lead. But that gap is just closing ever so slightly every lap. Abdi really has been putting in the flyers, and honestly, Warrior's been holding on pretty well. Let's take a look at Prime Drifter here. He's trying to get into the points, but he's just got a large gap to deal with. Actually, he has. Builder's made another mistake, and Prime Drifter's into the points. Good on him. Let's take a look at Abdi here. Yep, Abdi and Warrior are side by side again. These two love having battles. They are very evenly matched. But Abdi got that section wrong. Warrior's going to pull ahead once again. Let's take a look here. Anyone on the top really looking concerning? Opaki has 24 corner cuts. Oof. He's got to be careful. If he gets 2 more, that's gonna throw him out of the points. He's really got to pay attention. Prime Drifter's on 23 as well. But Warrior Gabriel's on 25. That is massive. If Warrior Gabriel gets another corner cut, he is going to have a drive-through. And that is going to be a big-time ouch for someone who's been fighting for the podium all race. There's a lot of complaints about whether or not drivers are going to be able to keep the corner cuts under control, but it does appear that some of the guys have, but some guys also have not. As you can see, Third Wheel and Addy have really been keeping it under control, but Warrior just hasn't been able to. He's just got to take it calm. If I was him, I'm telling myself, listen, the next guy behind me is 9 seconds. I would just let Abdi go, because if he gets another corner cut, his race is over. It's just like that. It's a game of weighing up the risk versus reward, and I really don't feel like there's much reward in it from here at this point. But you never know. He might be able to surprise me and be able to drive conservatively. But this is all playing into the hands of Third Wheel, who's really had a rebound race after the first lap. Holy crap, Abdi hit that curb hard. But he got away with it. Only just he got away with it, though. And see, Warrior and Abdi take different lines into that section. You can see Warrior getting it right that time. Abdi was not able to close in very much. The gap's now 4 seconds. Obviously, that was a bit of lag because Abdi did not cross the line ahead of Warrior on my screen. But now Abdi is ahead. The Warrior went wide there, and he's going to give up the place again. This really is a big-time battle. This is the battle for second. I really don't feel like there's any other battle at the moment. However, it does look like the battle for fifth is tensing up. Let's take a look at Loisetto here for a moment. He's got a train of cars behind him. Oof, I just saw someone smack the wall. I believe that was Prime Drifter. He hit the wall pretty good there. He's really got to be careful. If he does that on a corner with a track extend, he is screwed. Oh, and Warrior has hit the CC limit. That must have been in the dreaded corner for the drivers, Brewery corner. Oof, that is major implications for the race, because now he is no longer in position for the podium. There is the words of doom. Warrior has had a drive-through penalty. That is a huge shame. He's going to have to serve it, and he is serving it this lap. Let's see how far back he drops. He's hit the pit speed. Honestly, he's gotten away with it quite well. I would say that he opened up enough of a gap, which credits to him. He did open up enough of a gap to be able to serve that DTP without problem. So yeah, he's still going to hold on to third, but it's just Abdi is going to lock himself into second unless he too makes an error. However, for anyone else, it's going to be a big issue. For example, Kundai hit another DTP. That's the second DTP of the race, I believe. So things just keep on stacking on. But however, the two Velocita boys are 1-2 at the moment. And as you're going to see, we're going on to the final lap. We're going to ride on board with the third wheel when he comes by for one last lap around Adelaide. It's been a huge race, but he only has one more lap to deal with before he can say he has won the first race of the season. You're going to see he's going to get this section perfect. All he needs to do is not make a massive error and lose about 5 seconds. The boys can take it easy if they really want to. There's no pressure from behind. He's booped that wall there, but that's not going to do much to hurt his race. All he's got to do is just not go crazy. And he's got this win in the bag. This is a massive race for Velocita. This is going to cement them in the championship for good, if it hasn't already. Here comes third wheel into the hairpin. We are going to get to see firsthand the scenes of his first win in RFR. Here he comes. He's going to go through the permanent section for the final time. We're going to see him come across the line victorious today. Around the final corner, it will be a third wheel victory in Adelaide. And across the line second is Abdi to round out a Velocita 1-2. Awesome stuff between those guys. That is fantastic to see. In third place, it looks like it's going to be Warrior at the end of the day. He managed to get away with third. That's quite spectacular. And Opaki is going to manage fourth place. So that's a fresh 4 points, I think. No, 6. Loisedo will cross the line in 5th. And Builder will get the last point available on 6th. Prime and Nathan were so close there today. They just couldn't manage it. TTB managed to finish 9th on an alternate strategy. So credits to him there, but it didn't quite work out. He just did not have the speed. And it's going to be a friction top 10. In the first race of the season. No results for Dragonborn. That's really huge. The only thing they could manage was 5th. I was really expecting a lot out of them, but they just could not manage it. Abdi also got the fastest lap on top of all of that. So that is just huge for the championship. Let's go and find the Velocita drivers here. Wherever they may be. This looks like it is third wheel. Third wheel is a race winner in RFR. And we might be able to bring him for an interview later on. If he wants. But this is maximum formation right here. And they're going to come to the podium in style. Oh, that's spectacular. He is doing the burnouts here today. He is happy. It's an American tradition from NASCAR, and he's going to bring it to the world of Formula 1. Massive victory for him, though. He's going crazy right now. There you go. That's a huge burnout. We have an intruder on the podium. As you can see, this is very clearly the Santander European Grand Prix. That's very correct. But oh well. So an American on the top step of the podium with Warrior in third for Austria. Respectable result from all of them. Obviously, Warrior really did get away with it today. Oh, nice. Alright, we're going to go on a quick break. and we'll be back in a moment with any interviews. Alright, we are back here in Adelaide, and as you can see, podium ceremonies are basically complete. And yeah, it's been a massive race. We're gonna bring in a couple guys for an interview, I think, because we might as well. So yeah, let's do that. I'll let them sort things out first. It's a massive picture, though, with everyone. So yeah, first race of the season. I mean, if we're taking a look at what's happened, it's pretty big, a lot of mistakes, but that's what you get with a street circuit. And I mean, the Velocita boys really just were the pick of the crop here. They were the best guys outright. And the only guy that was really able to even stick with him was Opaki. He was the only guy to get into the 119s than Abdi, though. In reality, Abdi was the fastest, but he just wasn't the most consistent. So yeah, we're going to do some interviews now. I will be right back.
Okay. What's up?
Alright, Abdi, hello. So, how was your
Hello.
race? How did it go?
Um, Pretty good, but I feel like the safety car kind of fucked me in the US.
Yeah, I could tell. The safety car came out at a very odd time. That was like right when the pit window pretty much opened for everyone. As you told me before, it was around 16 to 18, around that range. That's kind of when the pits were going to happen. So there's no real element of strategy on that front. What did you think of the track, though? Was the track really hard?
It was pretty fun, but hard at the same time.
Yeah, I was watching on the first lap. I saw third wheel in that one kink before the back straight. He hit that curb and he spun out, and he had to come from all the way in the back, and he ended up winning because of the safety car.
The safety car really did help him.
Yeah, it did. It did. And you had the fastest lap too. I don't know if you saw.
Yeah, that's cool. But it doesn't mean anything because there's no points for fast lap.
Yeah, so you got 8 points on the board. So that's pretty solid. Next week we go to Argentina. What are your thoughts on there?
Never driven there. I missed the session preseason, so it's gonna be a bit hard, I guess. But looking forward to it.
All right. So I believe that's all we got for Abdi. So thank you for coming on. And we'll get the next guy. All right, so now we have Nathan with us. So, how was your race?
It went pretty well at the start. Went up to P2 and then the safety car absolutely killed it.
Yeah, I was watching your battles with Abdi and all the guys that are up there, and you really had the pace to stick up there, but was it just the safety car that went wrong? Because you fell off pretty quick after that.
Yeah, safety car, the restart. Had a good restart, but with all the people, I couldn't really see much. I just blew it a bit.
Yeah, so you finished 8th, which is unfortunately out of the points, but you were really able to be there probably. So what do you think about next week at Argentina? Do you think you'll be able to fight there?
Yeah, I feel confident. I feel like I can get at least in the points. That's my goal for each race, just to get in the points. And I hope I'll get there.
All right, that's good. Thank you for coming. We'll see you
No
next
problem.
week. All right, so that's all the interviews that we got for now. So we'll look through the race finishing results and the point standings for the first race of the season. So the race results, third wheel was the winner, followed by Abdi in second place and Warrior in third place, who was 14 seconds behind third wheel. A real masterclass performance there by third wheel. Opaki in fourth place. Spectacular result for the rookie, 20 seconds back, but that's going to be a good, 4 points for him? No, 6. No, it's going to be 4. That's right. Okay, I'm getting my points mixed up. Liceto finished in 5th place. I don't really think that was the result he was truly looking for, but it's points on the board nonetheless. Builder managed to steal the final point away from Prime Drifter and Nathan, who finished 7th and 8th respectively. TTB on the alternate strategy finished in 9th place. Respectable performance from him, considering he was nowhere in the start of the race. And Friction will round out our top 10 here. Dirty NASCAR, another debutant, in 11th, as well as JL, another debutant, in 12th. So a real good showing of the rookies here. F1 Fan finished in 13th. Kundai in 14th. The struggle was big time for Kundai. He had 2 drive-through penalties. He just could not gel with the track very well. I'm sure he was not very happy on the radio. Hardman finished 15th and Lannar finished 16th, the last 2 finishers. G-Man was the only DNF in 17th place, and that was the rundown. Abdi had the fastest lap, so credits to him there. Looking at the points, it's basically the same as the results. So third wheel has 10, Abdi has 6, Warrior has 4, Opaki has 3, Lois Seto has 2, and Builder has only 1 point. But that means that Velocita will take 16 points in the Constructors for that one too. That is massive for the results, and that's going to put them really ahead. That being said, though, Audi is 4. And that's followed by Dragonborn with 2. Opaki, obviously, the only finisher inside the points for Williams, so he will have 3. And Builder for PTT Zent is going to get 1 singular point, and everyone else has 0. So they're all playing catch-up here this weekend. we're looking forward to next week in Argentina. This has been a fun first race for commentary for me, and I'm looking forward to more in the future. So this has been JG210. We'll see everyone next week in Argentina, same time, different track, different life. Thank you guys for coming out and watching, and we'll see you all next week. Goodbye.